What up, what up, what up? It's your motherfucking boy, Andrew Kakarак. You know how we do, you know what I'm saying? Naga back in this bitch one more again. You know what I'm saying? The haters, you know how they get down. They've been sitting here doing damage control for the past damn near a week now. Been doing damage control since I went over to Sardetta and detonated the God's light electromagnetic bomb. You know what I'm saying? And they over there picking up debris, trying to figure out what the fuck happened. But you know how we get down. Y'all know how we do. You know what I'm saying? Warmongers in this bitch always. Naga World, Ampool Crew, Lions Den, Stand Up. Y'all know how we get down. Shout out to Bar Reloaded. You know what I'm saying? There's them women over there doing good things. Y'all just got to be patient. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to start us off with a little something for my brother.
We say God is light, now they talk about a trino. We change the conversation, just me and my amigo. We shooters automatic, Ray yelling at the free throw. The click we put together, man, I swear it is a cheat code. And no, you niggas is not our equal. Pitching rocks at the guard, watch your life get repo. Charge of your heart, fall to net zero. Plug you niggas from your socket, man. To take off like a motherfucking rocket, man. Get folded like a water, you out of pocket, man. Y'all can keep crying, but the hit's not stopping, man. Naga hit the lab, it's another hot topic, man. And we don't play ball, we set the standard, get behind the pace call, nigga. And we don't play ball, we set the standard, get behind the pace call, nigga. Fuck all these niggas, I'ma hit them where it hurts. Screaming Naga World order now, watch can Naga work. Man, I need a straight jacket, I'm about to go berserk on my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I bound first on my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I bound first on my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I bound first, man. Fuck all these niggas, I'ma hit them where it hurts. Screaming Naga World order now, watch can Naga work. Man, I need a straight jacket, I'm about to go berserk on my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I bound first, my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I'm on first on my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I'm on first.
I've been trying all my life not to hit him with the blick, but these niggas ain't shit. Got me riding with the stick. If you fuck with a Naga, you gon' get the whole clique. Blood over wine, yeah, we on some gang shit. Intellectual bullies got the conscious niggas sick. They be slandering my name, they be all up in my mix. Is it cause I got a queen that they know they can't get? While you're trying to solve a puzzle where your pieces don't fit, you illiterate big boo bitch. Naga shine a light, but the kind don't need a switch. Fuck all these niggas, I'ma hit them where it hurts. Screaming Naga World order now, watch can Naga work. Man, I need a straight jacket, I'm about to go berserk on my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I'm on first on my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I'm on first on my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I'm on first. Fuck all these niggas, I'ma hit them where it hurts. Screaming Naga World order now, watch can Naga work. Man, I need a straight jacket, I'm about to go berserk on my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I'm on first on my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I'm on first on my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I'm on first on my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I'm on first on my Tupac shit, nigga. Yeah, I'm on first.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cuz on that trail, on making that track for me, you dig? That's 100% original Naga World Blood Over Wine production right there.
Hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know how we got it. You know what I'm saying? We got the talent, we got the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Let me turn my camera back on so they can see us. You know what I'm saying? We got the talent, we got the knowledge, you know what I'm saying? We got it all, man. We got the ladies and stuff, man. They be backing us up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how we get down. Hold on, let me see what we got here in the comments. Okay, Third Eye, what's up, good? What's up, Third Eye? Shout out Third Eye, man. That's our other Naga brother, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't see him a lot, but just know he out here creeping. You know what I'm saying? We finna get it going. So first on the agenda, we're gonna review some videos out of the cosmology, the plasma cosmology, and I just want us to listen to what they saying, and then we're gonna have a small discussion about it afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just bear witness with us. We're gonna let the video play. And you know what I'm saying? And like I said, we don't own that content, but we are sharing it so we can review it, and we're gonna have a discussion afterwards. So YouTube, get the fuck up off our ass. You know what I'm saying? For sharing free content, y'all share on a regular. All of us are subscribers to this channel. we all watch this channel on a regular. You know what I'm saying? So, bear witness. So I'm gonna share my screen again so we can get it on real quick. This, like I said, this stuff is pretty clean cut. You just got to be open to the realms of possibilities and understanding what other people are saying outside of the science that we're accustomed to. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're finna do right here. We're finna show and prove some concepts. Let's just jump right into it.
Explored the current crisis in cosmology and what it means to have a revolutionary shift or change in cosmology. Now let's step back and explore why cosmology matters in the first place. Why does cosmology matter beyond science and to non-scientists? And how does cosmology impact everyday life? We know that the study of the universe is important to science, but cosmology has far beyond science and has a significant cultural component. Cosmology impacted everything from anthropology and art to philosophy, morality, religion, and even politics. Cosmology also impacts our worldview and how we view ourselves in the world. Historically, changes in cosmology have precipitated tectonic cultural and ideological shifts that have shaped and defined the course of history. But the relationship between cosmology and culture is not unidirectional. It is far more nuanced than that. Cosmological shifts are also a product of their time and often grow out of and/or reinforce philosophical and socio-political settings that benefit from or exploit the ideas promoted and reflected in a new cosmology. Let's look at these points in greater detail. Changes in cosmology can have tectonic ripple effects that influence the course of history. A classic example is Galileo and the Copernican revolution, and the shift from the geocentric to the heliocentric model of cosmology. This shift was so profound that it sparked the scientific revolution, but it also had profound consequences beyond science. As the educational director of the Italian consulate in the United States explains, quote, Galileo's ideas not only sparked a scientific revolution, they initiated a large-scale revolution in human thinking. He changed the way we see the world, and more importantly, how we perceive ourselves within it, end quote. The shift from an Earth-centric to a sun-centric view of the cosmos created an historic opportunity to unseat the power of the church, and eventually led to what has been described as, quote, the most important idea in modern history. The idea that any person, regardless of his or her individual characteristics, can seek and find the truth. This meant that the Catholic Church and clergy were no longer the sole investigators and arbiters of the truth. Putting knowledge within reach of the individual and human deduction was a revolution in human thinking, one that landed Galileo in deep trouble with the church. However, the human mind as important and worthy of contemplation is an idea that predates Galileo, going back to Greek philosophy. When Socrates spoke of the need to know thyself, he shifted the emphasis of the contemporary philosophy from nature to humans. Promoting this type of thinking eventually got him executed for atheism. Thus, Galileo fared far better than his philosophical predecessors. This may be due to the environment in which Galileo's ideas emerged. Galileo's discoveries were bolstered by and reinforced Renaissance humanism, a philosophy that prioritizes and glorifies the potential of the individual and the human mind, especially in the areas of creativity and the arts. Power structures tend to prop up or support the cosmological trends and tenets that serve larger pre-existing notions and agendas. While Galileo was condemned by the church, he was also backed by certain segments of the aristocracy. Specifically, he had the patronage of Lord Del Monte, a nobleman and author of several important works on mechanics. The scientific revolution helped bring the fruits of humanism into the realm of politics. It shifted ultimate political power from the church to to the monarchy, which was good news for monarchs and the nobility, who could now rule without the blessing or approval of the church. The monarchy primacy was short-lived.
I'm gonna pause it right there. We're only 4 minutes into this video. I'm gonna pause it right there. So let's just discuss right now, like what's already been said. You know what I'm saying? Because she just made some very interesting points. First, she's saying that it was Galileo who basically sparked the whole separation between church and state when it came to science being the offspring of religion and spirituality. It was Galileo who sparked that whole idea of bringing humanism into the forefront. You know what I'm saying? And this is back to again to what I was saying, that when you separate humans from the rest of the natural world, this is where this identity conflict comes from. This is where the sickness starts. You know what I'm saying? When you start trying to separate yourself from the actual organism, which makes you a cancer in that system. You see what I'm saying? So one of the other key points that she made was that of who profited from the switch over, who actually profited from that. As you see, they said the aristocracy is who profited from that. So you're talking about the kings and the queens, the nobility, and they did that as a power move to separate the church powers from the state powers, because the church had too much influence over them, and they wanted to break away from that. They want the king to rule, not necessarily the priest or the pope. You know what I'm saying? So that here's an example of people who you know, when people ask the question, well, who would profit off of these particular ideas? Who would profit off of what we're seeing? Even back then, it was the aristocrats that was actually profiting off of the ignorance of the people. So it might seem as if they wanted to bring forth an era of science. That's not what they wanted to do. They wanted to bring in an era, a system of control, which eliminated the church tentacles off of them. That was the whole point of it. And again, I can't reiterate this much. I can't iterate this enough, that the whole idea of this concept, it's old. It's not, we're not the first people who came up with this, but this is something that's been around for a long time. And this is not the first time science or electromagnetism has shaken up people's thoughts and ideas about the world around them. So again, we're going to continue the video, but like I said, y'all seen in her own words, she got a lot of sources. At this point, I like to stop the video to give people time to jot down key information that she said, that she brought out. She name dropped a couple of motherfucking scholars and shit. Y'all need to go look them people up. Need to go look up the different rulers that she's talking about, and actually dig off into what the whole scope of that. Don't just take her word for it. Actually do your due diligence, and you know what I'm saying, and do your own study to further your knowledge in this. Like, you know, there's no winners or losers. The only losers are the ones who chooses not to pay attention. You got any words on that, Ruben?
Well, shit, you should always do your due diligence. You know what I'm saying? And she made a distinction. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I see where you gone with that when you say, you know, the aristocrats are the ones who profited off of that because they gained control. And before that, you know what I'm saying, there was a system set in place to where the priests and the church would keep the rulers in check, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. It was a balance. But once they separated humans from the natural world around them, you know what I'm saying, they indeed became a cancer. This is why, you know, this leads to fossil fuels, and it also fits within the paradigm of free electricity. You know what I'm saying? And that's still a power grab, you know what I'm saying? And if humans wasn't separated from the natural world around them and there wasn't this doctrine in place, then, you know what I'm saying, more humans will be aware of these free resources that are plentiful that we couldn't even run out of, you know what I'm saying, to
Right.
power our daily lives instead of using fossil fuels that's taken from the planet we live on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, I agree. You know, like I said, another thing for us to consider, like when we're studying this, we're not against math, we're not against science, or nothing like that. We're just against dogmatic practices that lead our people down a rabbit hole of confusion. That's what we're really attacking here. So we're not attacking any one science or any one scientific discipline. But when you engage in dogmatic practices, we got to call you out on it, because science world don't have no problem with calling people out who's into esoteric teachings. They'll call those people out in a heartbeat, but no one's call it whistleblowing when it comes to this stuff. But the people over at Plasma Cosmology, the Electric Universe, they're whistleblowing. So we listening. You know what I'm saying? Thornhill, we listening. Berkland, we listening. We're listening. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going on deaf ears. Your work is not in vain. We see the light and we following it, and we're gonna see where that light leads us. So I'm gonna continue on this video.
As notions of human importance, actualization led individuals to question the absolute dominance of monarchs and rise up throughout history, most notably during the Enlightenment, in a manner that eventually gave rise to republics, the nation state, and modern day concepts of democracy. Overall, Galileo's ideas reinforced and furthered the tide of humanism and were beneficial to opponents of the absolute power of the church and, later on, the absolute power of monarchs. Beyond politics, the technological advancements of the scientific revolution also shaped economics and labor, moving the West from a feudal system to economies that are, or were, industrial and factory based. It has been noted that, quote, the scientific revolution lit a path that centuries later, with the help of a lot of steam and coal power, money and labor, led to the Industrial Revolution, end quote. This triggered the necessary sociocultural shift from a predominantly rural population to an increasingly urbanized one. Galileo's impact also affected and reinforced trends in the arts. His influence reaffirmed and expanded upon the work and focus of Renaissance artists of his time, who were obsessed with representing man and nature as geometrically accurate and realistic as possible. Despite the vast cultural and technological impacts, for many, the most profound impact of the scientific revolution was how it helped shape our understanding of what it means to be human. Implied in the scientific revolution is the recognition that individuals matter and can think for themselves. This is arguably the underlying tenet of the Enlightenment, or Age of Reason, that humankind is a rational thinking being capable at arriving at truth, and therefore enlightenment. Central to Enlightenment thought were, quote, the use and celebration of reason.
Now let's talk about that right there, bro. I think that's a good point, another good stopping point. They're saying that the Age of Enlightenment brought on the fact that humans can think and reason for themselves. And what you have with these dogmatic types like Ankh West, Q Butter, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Q Butter. I'm not, no disrespect or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But when you have these types, Dennis, all of these characters in these back chats, when they're engaging in the particular behavior that they're doing, you have to understand that they're doing the exact opposite of what the Age of Enlightenment does, which is enlighten you and gives you the possibility to think outside the box. They're not thinking outside the box. They're thinking within the confined restraints of the program that they were taught as children in school, as if that stuff cannot be tainted, as if that stuff cannot have an agenda attached to it. Am I saying that it's an open agenda? Maybe, maybe not. But we can clearly see that there most definitely is an agenda to keep quote unquote African people of African descent out of science, out of technology, out of the whole STEM paradigm. So you know what I'm saying? Let's not sit here and act like these people are not engaged in this particular belief. When you believe in equations and you believe in these theories without even a shred of proof or even having the ability to disprove the concepts, you know what I'm saying? And so we're forced to parrot what they tell us versus us thinking for ourselves, which is the whole point of the age of enlightenment.
Right, and you're really not supposed to ever take any information at face value. You know what I'm saying? I got to say that again. We said that earlier, but I had to repeat that. You're supposed to take the information and try to advance the information if possible. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us just take what we're told as face value and never even try to look in it, try to weigh it against nothing else, try to cross examine it against other fields, you know what I'm saying, to see if anything corroborates with what you're being told about this particular field. Because, like, one thing I do when dealing with linguistics, which is off topic, I usually try to confirm that in the genetics, because the two kind of go hand in hand, you know what I'm saying, with the linguistic migrations and the genetic migrations.
Right.
So, and a lot of these science guys will take the science and they'll be like, oh, but the mat, you're harping on the mat. Well, what is the language saying? You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't understand the language, then the mat isn't gonna really mean anything to you anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because all of these scientific equations are explaining is language. You know what I'm saying? These symbols represent words and words and names of actual, elements, particles, forces. These turn, the letters and stuff and numbers that we find in these equations are representing actual words for things. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't understand the language and what's being explained to you about what these what these words mean, then the math isn't going to mean anything to you. You know what I'm saying? You're going to totally miss it. And a lot of these dudes, oh, they stick on, they got to repeat the equation to you 1,000 times. You know what I'm saying? Blindfolded without looking at anything because they got the equation stuck in their head. But what does this equation really mean? What's going on? Have you checked the equation? Have you, see if you can observe this equation in real time, in reality,
That's right, bro. It's equivalent to what I've been saying about gravity. You know what I'm saying? Now they'll tell you that my particular stance on gravity is pseudo, but at the same time, their God Einstein, this is their God. This is the people that they uphold into great light. He says the same thing about gravity that I do. That mass don't have an attractive force outside of attraction. I mean, outside of charge attraction. So the notion that somehow two masses just will attract each other at a distance, with some freaky, spooky power that masses just attracting each other, like that's a farce. You know what I'm saying? So again, we have to look at those type of things, like when they talk about the constants of gravity. Yet they're not telling you that gravity is not constant on every planet. It's not the same constant rate on every single planet. In fact, depending on the density of a mass, will determine how much gravitational pull it has. But again, that's just going back to charge. The more massive an object is, the more charge that it can hold, the more charge that it can store. You know what I'm saying? So those charges within that mass interacts with your own charges of your own body. You know what I'm saying? Each individual cell, each individual atom has its own electrical positive and negative output, and those positive and negative interact with the positive and negative outputs in the environment, and that's what causes traction. That's what causes these things. So so you right on point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot just take a blind faith approach to when it comes to science. You have to have something else to rub up against it. You have to pay attention to the observations. You have to pay attention to the language that's being used, because a lot of times they use language that's not that does not mean the same thing in layman's terms. And we see the same thing in law. We see the same thing in science. We see the same thing that anything that has its own society based around it, we see that is an ongoing trend.
Yeah, and another thing I noticed, like when you're looking into this theoretical thing called gravity, right? When you're looking into it, a lot of times they refer you to electromagnetism and the electromagnetic force for something that you could observe to show you how gravity theoretically functions. You know what I'm saying? And that within itself should make you think outside the box. It's something that you're not being told about gravity because you don't have the electromagnetic force nowhere in the equation for gravity. You know what I'm saying? You don't have charge nowhere in the equation for gravity. So if you're going to keep referring me to this force for something to observe to explain gravity to me, then what's the problem with incorporating this very force into the equation?
Right, right, and that's the same. That's the same issue that we all have in, you know what I'm saying. And like I said, again, I'm not saying gravity don't exist. That is not my stance. I'm saying that it's just not being taught to us properly. Like that. That's my whole stance. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily that it's fake or it don't exist, because clearly the mass, weight, volume, and density of an object exists. That's how we were able to determine if the shit is real or if it's within our reality. Is the fact that it has mass, it has weight, it has volume, it has density. Like, so without those things, we can argue if you even exist for real. You know what I'm saying? If you had no mass, if you had no volume, if you had no density, we could argue if you even exist. You know what I'm saying? So let's not sit here and act like gravity or the weight, density, and volume of an object does not have nothing to do with anything. That would be a complete lie. So that is not our stance when it comes to gravity. Unlike a lot of these flat earthers, you got some kooks back here like Takori, like Javante. They kooks, you know, they believe in the flat earth theory. You know what I'm saying? That shit's funny to us. So we gonna continue, man.
The power by which humans understand the universe and improve their own condition. Implied in this belief is a view of the universe as reasonable and understandable. For how could humans apply reason to understand a universe that is not reasonable or comprehensible? Enlightenment thinkers in England, France, and throughout Europe shared the common Enlightenment themes of rational questioning and a belief in progress through dialogue. One can imagine how these notions would benefit and be bolstered by powerful or influential individuals that favored republics and parliamentary forms of governance, since these are characterized by dialogue and cooperation between and among the people and/or their representatives. This is an example of the nuanced relationship between cosmology and culture, which can be described as a feedback loop, wherein sociocultural powers tend to adopt and then promote those parts of cosmology that can shape and influence present and/or future outcomes and behavior. Relativism is another modern-day example. While much has been noted about Einstein's theory of relativity and its influence on relativism, relativism as an idea goes back to the ancient world. Though it did not gain favor in ancient times and was refuted by philosophers such as Plato, arguments for relativism have existed throughout history. Moreover, there is presently no philosophical consensus on what relativism actually means. Relativism, as I use it here, refers to the doctrine that knowledge, truth, and morality are not absolute, known respectively as epistemological or cognitive relativism and moral relativism. I believe that it was not until contemporary powers and interests in politics, academia, and/or economics had a need for and could benefit from moral and cognitive relativism that relativism was fully promoted and normalized in the popular culture. Einstein and his special theory of relativity provided an opportunity and catalyst for this. Reinforced by the theory of relativity, relativism, philosophy, and modern culture, influencing and/or engendering everything from abstract cubist art to postmodern theory and identity politics. As noted in an article in the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, quote, the popularity of the very idea of relativism in the 20th century owes something to Einstein's special theory of relativity, which was to be used as model as well as a vindication for various claims, end quote. That article points to Gilbert Harman as one of the contemporary philosophers to use Einsteinian relativity as a model for philosophical versions of relativism. Harman has stated that, quote, according to Einstein's theory of relativity, even an object's mass is relative to a choice of spatio-temporal framework. I am going to argue for a similar claim about moral right and wrong. I'm going to argue that moral right and wrong are always relative to a choice of moral framework, end quote. It is interesting to note that Harman wrote this in 1996, which is several decades after Einstein, and curiously, only a few years before identity politics began to gain serious and ubiquitous momentum, as well as the support of the establishment. The 2000s witnessed the rise of identity politics, which is grounded in postmodern notions of relativism, and the replacement of traditional forms of left-wing opposition with identity-based movements, which are often sympathetic to the establishment. Under identity politics, relativism is exploited to fragment, dilute, and/or diffuse political opposition and ultimately to serve power. Let's take a closer look at relativism. Epistemological relativism espouses the idea that there is no absolute truth to be had, since all truth is relative. Similarly, moral relativism holds that morality, right and wrong, good and bad, is also relative and varies from person to person. Such notions fly in the face of the scientific revolution and Enlightenment era emphasis on the ability of the rational individual to seek and find truth with a capital T. Prior to relativism, philosophers argued that there was an absolute truth and an absolute way of approaching various aspects of life, especially with respect to morality and moral obligations. Moral relativism creates a philosophical slippery slope that can be or abused, especially by those with power. If there is no such thing as an absolute right and wrong, then we are powerless to point out and confront the wrongs of those with power, since everything is relative. In other words, arguing that there is no such thing as absolute right and wrong alleviates wrongdoers, big or small, from responsibility and accountability for wrongdoing. How convenient for the wrongdoer. Einstein was not a moral relativist and even recoiled at the misappropriation and misapplication of his theory in the non-sciences.
You hear that shit?
Right. That sounds like some shit that affect us the most. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna go back just a little bit. Let me
for the wrongdoer. Einstein was not a moral relativist and even recoiled at the misappropriation and misapplication of his theory in the non-sciences. As Einstein's most prominent biographer has observed, quote, in both his science and his moral philosophy, Einstein was driven by a quest for certainty and deterministic laws. If his theory of relativity produced ripples that unsettled the realms of morality and culture, this was not caused by what Einstein believed, but by how he was popularly interpreted, end quote. Similarly, the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy states, quote, it is worth noting that Einstein did not think that the theory of relativity supported relativism in ethics or epistemology, because although in his model simultaneity and sameness of place are relative to reference frames, the physical laws expressing such relativity are constant and universal, and hence in no sense relative, end quote. It seems that Einstein's theory of relativity, and by extension, contemporary cosmology, was misappropriated and misapplied in a manner that supports moral and cognitive relativism and the host of non-scientific or non-empirical interests they could potentially serve. A common criticism against epistemological relativism is that semantically it contradicts or refutes itself. The statement, all is relative, holds itself to be absolute, therefore contradicting its original premise, that all is relative. Put another way, if the statement, all is relative, is an absolute, then this contradicts relativism. And if the statement is relative, then it does not have to be or cannot be accepted as true. For this, many view relativism as a paradox. I believe paradox may be a contemporary motivation for the misapplication of Einstein. In Western culture, paradox is increasingly presented as a good thing and is even celebrated and promoted in all areas of life, using science and cosmology as a justification for such arguments. For instance, in a 2020 article entitled Think Like Einstein, The Paradox Mindset, the author notes that Einstein was used to conceiving and embracing opposite or contradictory ideas, and that many Nobel Prize winning scientists are known to actively conceive multiple opposites simultaneously. Describing this as a paradox mindset, the author encourages readers to do the same, arguing that, quote, embracing contradictory ideas is one of the main assets for raising creativity and is a better way forward, end quote. The author concludes that strangeness is a good thing, which ought to be embraced in the workplace. Similarly, in a 2020 BBC article on work culture, the author argues that the paradox mindset is the key to success in the workforce, stating that, quote, although paradox often trips us up, embracing contradictory ideas may actually be the secret to creativity and leadership, end quote. And in a talk at the proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America, scholars argued that the key to promoting peacemaking and peaceful intervention overseas is paradoxical thinking, which they define as, quote, information that is inconsistent with held beliefs and raises the sense of absurdity, end quote. It is strange and perhaps disheartening to see paradox promoted as a good thing in the world of politics and peacekeeping. It is also odd to see politics discussed at the National Academy of Science. This brings us back to earlier discussions about science and cosmology being used to justify larger and/or pre-existing interests and agendas. It also harkens back to what Thomas Kuhn implied about institutionalized science, that it is hegemonic and functions much like other institutions of power, such as religion or politics, or in the service of power. Promoting paradox and absurdity in politics and political intervention may be a way to disguise or preserve empire and political hegemony, not least by framing inconsistency and absurdity as positive political strategies. Rhetoric about the benefits of paradox in politics and the workplace is somewhat evocative of that found in media articles on contemporary cosmology, which embrace and celebrate cosmological weirdness and paradox rather than problematizing it. As I note in a previous show, the increasing focus in mainstream media on the strange and wacky universe presents cosmic weirdness and contradiction as something that is matter of fact and non-problematic. Basically, the universe is a weird and unknowable place, and that's okay, because the universe does not have to make sense. If that's the case, then contemporary cosmology has failed us. For what good are science and empirical observation and analysis if they cannot give us answers? Rather than admit the failure or inability of contemporary cosmology to provide answers and explanations, mainstream science and mainstream media increasingly blame the failure on or hide the failure behind the strangeness of the universe. This suggests that mainstream cosmology is not actually interested in giving us answers. It also confirms what Thomas Kuhn believed about dominant or normal science, that it is hegemonic, dogmatic, and unyielding to falsification and change. At the sociocultural level, the promotion of a paradox mindset could be interpreted as giving people permission to act inconsistently, unpredictably, contradictory, and/or without integrity. Rather than admit that systems or policies may be failing or contradictory, failure and contradiction can simply be repackaged as normal and acceptable, just as it is in cosmology. In terms of dominant discourse, this potentially opens the door to and/or justifies inconsistent, contradictory, and deceptive discourse and narratives. As an aside, it is important to note that the paradox rationale is a tool that can only fully be exploited by those in a position of power. For if the average person on the street tried to argue in court that the law is relative or could be interpreted in a contradictory manner, it probably would not go very well for them. In closing, everything we discussed drives home just how influential cosmology is beyond the sciences and how much it shapes and impacts the broader culture and human thinking. Cosmology and changes in cosmology have shaped and or fostered everything from the scientific revolution to present-day forms of governance, industry, philosophy, and morality. With respect to the most recent sea change in cosmology, that of relativity and the Big Bang, theories and innovations in cosmology were misappropriated and misapplied by thinkers in the non-sciences in a manner that gave rise to various notions of relativism and eventually fostered a culture and worldview that embraces, celebrates, and promotes paradox, contradiction, and absurdity. This is a stark contrast to the Enlightenment's obsession with reason and rational thinking. We have been educated with clear evidence that cosmology is presently in a state of crisis and is inevitably heading towards revolution. Given that reality, our next logical step will be to explore what a future cosmology might look like and how it will impact the broader culture and human thinking.
Okay, so man,
That makes sense the way people react to us now. You know what I'm saying? It's like we establish a line between truth and a lie, right and wrong, fact and fiction. We establish that line.
that's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? And people really have a relativistic way of thinking.
Yep, and that's what
Yeah.
all come down to it. That's why I was trying to tell brother Inky and brother JJ is that, you know what I'm saying, like, this is the way that you attack these people. This is this is the game plan. You have to attack the rationality of these people using dogmatic thinking. That's the way to get at them. And once you do that, the all of it falls down like a house of cards. You know what I'm saying? Because we can show and prove without a shadow of a doubt that these people are mistaken and there are a bunch of lies and deception within this whole paradigm. So, you know what I'm saying? That concludes our session on plasma universe and electric universe. We just wanted to bring that little clarity to y'all. We're gonna do more later. You know what I'm saying? But right now, man, we gonna switch up gears and modes and stuff, man. Something I wanted to do yesterday, and I just decided, like, right now, you know what I'm saying? Fuck it, let's just do it now, shit. Just, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to bore y'all. You know what I'm saying? And so we're gonna do a review of our Nexus page, our Naga World Nexus page. And like I said, it's a public group. Y'all all invited. Anytime y'all ready. So yeah, man. Let's switch over to that real quick.
Yeah, y'all come check us out at Naga World Nexus, man.
Yeah, we on Facebook, Naga World Nexus, Naga 9 Studios on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Y'all come check us out on Clubhouse, called the Stronghold. Y'all can come meet us in the Stronghold. We have discussions and stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? Be looking out for our grand risings in the morning. In the morning, we might greet y'all with a clubhouse or something like that, just light talking and stuff, just on different subjects. And yeah, man, hold on, let me pop this up real quick, because our Facebook page is fucking hilarious. I don't care what nobody say. Like, our this shit's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of information on there, but it is funny as hell. Okay, let's take a look what we got today. This shit's funny today, man. Let's see what we got here today. What we got up and down the wall. Oh yeah, some of y'all probably ain't see some of our newer take a look at that shit.
I couldn't sleep.
I was talking, you ain't saying nothing. Cause I'm in the feeling, man hunting. They gotta emulate a brand. The thunder loud, can't turn it down. You ain't saying nothing, no. You ain't saying nothing, nigga. You ain't saying nothing. That's right, y'all niggas ain't saying nothing, man. We see y'all fake news ass niggas out there emulating our style. You know what I'm saying? Jocking Naga, still using Naga name, you know what I'm saying, in vain, and ain't paying us no goddamn change for using our motherfucking name. We see you buster ass niggas out there, nigga, and it's like that when we see you, it's on site, motherfuckers. See what else we got brewing up in here. Damn, I don't see shit. What happened to the rest of your dig? Hold on, let me refresh it real quick. Maybe it needs some refreshing. What's going on? I don't see none of the other posts. What are the rest of the posts at, man? Where's the rest of our posters at, man?
I don't know. That sucker should be full of stuff.
Let's take a look at our reels. Where's our so I don't hear shit. You hear anything?
Loneliest restrictions spouse for extra insurance. And next taxes on that as Bavarian Jewish. Blood over wine, they just carry to do it. Parry the bullshit, bury the sources. My enemy's enemy portion beating.
Yeah, I'm here today to discuss how y'all little weak bitches, y'all little whole ass motherfuckers be on some weak shit. Can you hear me? My mic. Yeah, so I'm gonna sit back and I don't know, left, right. Y'all hoes everywhere. I can't figure it out. What the fuck going on? Y'all motherfuckers don't understand the concept. God is like, all you bitches gonna burn. I keep telling you motherfuckers over and over again. Y'all think I'm talking about a light bulb. Let me fix this. Y'all think I'm talking about a fucking light bulb. I'm talking about how you stupid motherfuckers.
Just go, let the hate go, let whatever, like when you got against people, let that shit go, because that's gonna hold you back. Those are low frequencies. It's gonna stop you from going forward. All right, and if you don't rise, then you're gonna be destroyed by the frequency because it's gonna be too high for you to take it. All right. Now, when I'm telling y'all don't look back, that means let's rise. It's time to get unified. Forgive your family members. Forgive yourself. Let all that go because it really don't matter. It was all just a program anyway. That's how you go forward. Let the grudges go. Let the hate go. Let whatever, like when you got against people, let that shit go because that's gonna hold you back. Those are low frequencies. It's gonna stop you from going forward. All right, and if you don't rise, then you're gonna be destroyed by the frequency.
Yeah. King Naga. I'm something different. Something different, nigga. I'm extraordinary. You extraordinary. I'm 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 something my lungs breathe smoke and my heart pump liquor, and I got the DNA of a real ass nigga. My swag so cold it'll make a bitch shiver. Got these hoes on my dick like they tryna get delivered, but I ain't the postman. I go hard in the post, man. Your bitch is a pro hoe. She make money for the team like she trying.
Whoa, yeah.
Laughing.
Get the y'all gotta go click on that shit, man. We ain't finna give y'all the whole thing, man. Y'all gotta go click on that, man. Show some love, click, like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Follow. You can catch us on Naga World Nexus. Catch us on Naga 9 Studios. You can catch me at War Chief. You know what I'm saying? On YouTube. Ruben, don't you got a YouTube too?
Yeah, King Naga NWO on YouTube and TikTok. Same thing. King Naga NWO. That's NGA, not that NAGA. You know what I'm saying?
Do I sex met?
You can kiss my whole ass, you motherfuckers going bar for bar, pound for pound, her back and quite like Thunder's Mama Terror, representing the Naga Pethiana, chosen IRI who released me to bring this war shit on, busting out. Whoever with blood drops to read it, papyrus so ancient with these bars, I wrote this shit here out in hieroglyphs. You need to win quarantine vaccine and help me. My homage to the queen, I'm next in line to slaughter shit.
Kiss the diamond ring.
Hey, we not playing.
The CT scan has one more surprise for Alejandro. Shemai's ethnicity.
Well, they have just told me that Shemai have Nubian features, which means that their ruling family was probably Nubian, and that was unexpected.
Examining Shemai's anatomy closely, the thickness of his bones and the shape of his nasal cavity, the anthropologists think he was a black African, likely from neighboring Nubia.
You know what this is? What is it, Buddha? It's the book of life. In the beginning, when man arrived on Earth, the black gods did leave their spacecraft, and they walked, and they named the beast of the sea and the animals of the land.
But the CT scan.
The grudges go. Let the hate go.
If you don't hear it, you might as well let me tell it.
Market in Veracruz, African slaves were taken to work in mines, sugarcane fields, and wealthy homes, but they didn't accept their fates passively. By the early 17th century, at least 10% had run away, forming independent settlements called palenques. The most famous runaway and rebel leader was a man named Yanga, the founder of this town, which is located a few hours inland from Veracruz. Carmen, who is Yanga?
A hero more than anything.
A black slave. Supposedly, he was a slave of the Spanish who broke the chains.
He freed himself from oppression that the Spanish had over him. And he also liberated the slaves.
What my girlfriend said.
That's why they call Yanga the first free town in the Americas.
Oh man, give me 5, Gustavo. Market in Veracruz.
Wow.
If you
Yeah, man, we're gonna have more for y'all later on. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with our timeline. Like y'all see our reels, they sick, they full of information. There's some comedy in there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how we get down, man. We don't want to waste too much time. We already been on for 53 minutes. You know what I mean? We just gonna close. We gonna close him on now with a shout out to these goof ass niggas. You know what? Nah, not. We ain't even gonna do the goofies today. We just gonna set these niggas.
Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? Y'all come check us out, man. Naga World Order. You know what I'm saying? We something different. We're extraordinary. These other niggas extraordinary.
Super extraordinary. That's right. That's right. Let me see one more to close this on now. Share this. Where we at? There we is. Yeah, we got tracks galore too, y'all. So we ain't sleeping on no tracks. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to get on some tracks with us, man? Just holler at us. You know where we at. You know how to find us. Yeah, man. Let's disset these niggas, man. Fuck these niggas, man.
Bunch of fucking ass. You need people like me so you can pick your fucking fingers. You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. That's the bad guy. So, what that make you? Good? You need people like me so you can point your
You a
fucking
bitch ass
fingers.
nigga, somehow that makes me your villain. Weaponizing the truth, so put your hands to the ceiling. Y'all niggas worshiping idols, disrespecting the game. Y'all fallacious and y'all basic better stay in your lane. I'm in the dark hood like Vader, park in the woods with a laser. Dragging through the woods, through the acre, living with the wolves of the nature. I'm making moves like Saber, business cruisers to Jamaica. Got no time for you haters, kind blood in my leg. You think you king cause it's label. Let the set on come favor. Let the technique go crazy. How the fuck you won't beat when you graze it? How you challenge the shine when I'm brilliantly blazing? My resilient amazing. Naga and Pooh the greatest. They be beating without war. Blood without bloodshed. Blood red on the dance floor. Niggas think they set king. We don't give a fuck what set you claim. Have them dripping. We don't give a fuck what set you claim. They want peace without war. Give a fuck what niggas think they set king. We don't give a fuck what set you claim. Let them text ring. We don't give a fuck what set you claim. Have them dripping. We don't give a fuck what set you claim.
That's right. Fuck what set you claim. Whichever one it is. Set, Seth, Satan, Set Typhon. We don't care which one it is, niggas. Fuck you, nigga.
Big bag.
All right, God. Yeah, man. Peace and love, man, to you brothers, man.
Peace. Shout out to Ampool, man.
Shout out Ampool, Lions Den. You know how we get down. Ball reloaded. Yeah, I mean, we got good things coming for y'all, man. Just stay tuned.
Right.